let's master threading and winding bobbins on the Bernette 38 and the Bernette 37. These two machines are nearly identical, but there is a few things once we get started into all these free video tutorials that you can find that we do. Is some of the things that are different are the stitches that come with it and some of the things that are shown on screen. There's a few extra feet that come with the Bernette 38. But when it comes to threading, they're going to thread identical. You can use our videos to see if these machines might be right for you or if you've recently purchased them. Let's go step by step together and help you get started on the right foot and help you eliminate some common problems that people run into without this basic knowledge. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, where we do free video tutorials on sewing machines, embroidery machines, and sergers. You're going to find links of items I'm referring to in the description below, and there is a complete playlist of all the videos that we have done on these two beautiful machines. There's also links to online manuals, which even though you should have one with your machine, you will also find a free workbook, which I highly recommend that you download, print off, and you can go step by step through those pages and truly master these machines. Plus, we have online courses. So if you're looking to go beyond these basic videos, check out the Bernina Stitching Cosmos online course, where we help you play with all those wonderful decorative stitches and get familiar with additional sewing feet that you can add to these machines. Now, before we get started, let's talk about quality of thread. If you have thread that has been given to you, passed down from grandma or great grandma, you might avoid those to start off with. Please avoid those threads because they're just not as good as new threads, quality threads. The manufacturing process has come so much further than way back in the day, if you know what I mean. So when people have sewing problems, one of the first things I ask them is what brand of thread are they using. Also too, we'll ask about what needle you're using, what size, and then what fabric you're using, because all three of those have to pretty much be all in aligned, need to be fully aligned for machines to work their best. A couple things I've pulled out of the accessory bag already is an empty bobbin and spool caps, because I want to just talk about the differences and why there's two sizes. Plus, I'm noticing that there's actually another one of the small ones already on the spool cap up here. So you're going to have extras of these, I feel, but the reason you have different sizes is because you're going to match the spool cap to the size of spool that you have selected. And we're going to put links to some of my favorite threads in the description below. Make sure that if you are on a cell phone or small screen, you can click the More button and it will open up all the links that we're talking about. Spools like this is an isocord. Though it's called embroidery thread, I absolutely love this for sewing because it is so strong, comes in so many colors, and it's polyester, so you actually get more bang for your buck. But it has a smaller end, so we'll be using that smaller spool cap if I was going to be putting this spool on. When it comes to spool caps, you're going to notice I'm going to push them on all the way so there's not a gap between the spool and the cap. That is a common place for thread to kind of accidentally fall in between, then it gets caught, it gets tight, and will often result in just breaking your needle. It's a little surprising, and people always go, well, what did I do wrong? It was actually way back up top, which was the problem. And just if you do go with one of these spools of thread, let me show you a little trick. Down at the bottom there, the bases actually snap open. And so what I do is I like my threads nice and contained and pretty. So you open that up, bring the thread around, and then snap it closed, and then that keeps it nice and tidy as you go. You'll even find this on spools like this. If it's a cotton thread like this one is, cotton thread practically just sticks to itself. So there is a groove in the top. If you find yourself wanting to slide it in there a couple times, that will also hold the thread. So let's just do this particular one. We're going to start by winding a bobbin. I also have one other thing let's talk about is a extra thread stand. You can buy these if you've got cones of thread that are bigger, or some decorative threads that are a little unruly like metallic threads or clear threads, I like to put this on a stand. You set this more to the right of the machine, and then the thread will come up off that stand and then over to the first guide. But for today, we'll just be using the normal horizontal spool pin that is on the machine. Slide your spool on there first. Take that spool cap, slide it on so there's no gap, nice and tight, and let's start by winding a bobbin. Now, there's not very many bobbins that come with these models, so the first thing I would highly recommend that you do is go to your Bernette dealer and buy more bobbins if you don't have one close by. Again, you'll find a link to some bobbins. They are a standard class 15 generic size. You do want to get the clear ones. It doesn't matter that these are clear. Yes, they do make metal ones, but do not put metal ones in this machine. The machine is not balanced for that heavier weight. So that's why this is key for the correct bobbin. And just because it's clear doesn't mean other clear bobbins will fit. So they do actually need to be correctly identified for this machine. Now, if you're looking for a quick reference guide, if you found in with your manual the small little booklet that we showed you in the accessory video, and I'll put a link right up here to the accessory video, but these little booklets will sit in these little trays for you, and what they have is actually the shown stitches of each of the different modes that you have. So these are like the utility stitches, decorative stitches, alphabets, since we're working on the Bernette 38. But the very last page is actually a quick reference guide for winding a bobbin and for threading the machine. So if you do want to pull that out, you can follow along, but otherwise we're going to be following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to show you how that needle threader works as well. So winding a bobbin, first things first, is we want to make sure that you get a nice tight wind on your bobbin. So see this little pre-tensioner at the top? It's spring loaded, so you're going to follow the dotted arrow that's on the top of the machine and make sure the thread gets clicked underneath that spring. You should hear a little click in it, and as you bring that around, you will say counterclockwise. That will easily allow the thread to come off the spool, have a little pre-tension to that, and then we're going to follow the little picture that shows us threading the bobbin from the inside out in the little hole. Take that little tail, pull out the excess thread, slide it on the bobbin winder, and then push the bobbin all the way over to the stopper. Now you heard a little beep and the screen changed just a little bit, indicating that the bobbin winder is on. Next, wrap that thread around your fingers, hold it straight up, and step on your foot control. This will eventually break off, but what I want you to do is make sure that there is no tail left out of that little hole. So if you want, take a pair of scissors and clip it nice and short. And continue to fill the bobbin until it's completely full. If your machine is winding slowly, slide the speed control all the way to the plus side to get it going to its full speed. You'll notice as it's getting close to full, it stops spinning. So stop, bring the bobbin back to the left. You'll notice your screen comes back to the sewing screen. Cut the thread and let's put the bobbin into the bobbin area. Let me give you a little hint. As soon as you've wound the bobbin and you pull this straight up, it will come all the way down and sit into the bobbin case area the correct direction. Now, that's not always the case, so I'm going to take the door of the bobbin case off by touching this little black button to the right, and that will pop it up. There is a little reference of which way the bobbin needs to drop in here. So the thread needs to come off the left side and drop in just like that. But if you've just wound the bobbin, that makes it super easy. Since this machine was brand new, there is an empty bobbin already in here. So if you're looking for an extra bobbin, that's where it'll be. And then we're going to bring this thread all the way down to about 6 o'clock. You'll notice there is a small notch that we're going to be placing that thread in. So I usually take my thread, bring it all the way over to the right, and then let it drop into that groove. It needs to come in from this side. Another way to do it is actually to let the thread swing all the way over the top of the bobbin, and that also will let it come directly into the correct place. Put your finger on the bobbin so it doesn't spin any further, and you'll sometimes hear a click when the thread goes all the way into the tension disc. So about 6 o'clock all the way up to about 8:30 or so. That's what this little arrow is showing you where to put the thread. Let's leave that kind of dangling off to the side. Keep the door off. And then once we thread up the machine and put the thread through the needle, I'll show you the easiest way to bring the bobbin thread up to the top and get you ready to sew. The pre-tensioner is only used when you wind a bobbin. So undo the thread, and next we're going to be following the arrows that are solid when you thread the machine to sew. If your needle isn't in the highest position, what I want you to do is touch the needle down button and the needle up button one time. That will cycle the take-up lever to the highest position, making it easier to thread when it is correctly located at the end of the stitch. The other thing I want you to do is make sure that the presser foot is up. By putting the presser foot up, you are opening up the tension discs, which are in this first groove and kind of right where this red dial is. But so many people don't realize that, and so when we thread this, they don't get the thread deep enough, and that causes some sewing issues when the machine is not correctly threaded. So here's my little trick. I'm going to go ahead and take my thread with two hands. I'm holding it with my right hand, and I'm going underneath this first area. And with my left hand, I am dragging the thread down this groove with some purpose. So by doing so, I'm making sure the thread goes deep enough where you and I can't see, but once the machine is threaded correctly, it will be smooth sewing from here on out. Keep holding this and thread with your left hand, bringing it underneath this area where that arrow is. And then we're going to come in on the right and down on the left, and it will hook into this area. You don't have to thread the thread through it from here. You just go over the back and down the front. At this point, you'll see me switch my hands back, and I'll thread the rest of the machine with my right hand. Dip your head underneath to locate the guide that's right at the base of this housing. You're going to place the thread behind it by just taking your hand and going around to the right, and then bring it all the way over. There's a guide at the top of the needle, and it is open on the left side. Now we're ready to use the needle threader. Again, make sure your needle is in the highest position, and if you want, you can now lower the presser foot and give yourself a little extra room. By doing that, you can also do the little test. The thread should be tight now when you've lowered the presser foot. That means that you threaded that first groove correctly. Those tension discs have gripped onto the thread, and it is correctly threaded. The needle threader is going to pull down, and while you do so, you can bring the thread under the little white arm on the left side. Pull the needle threader all the way down until it comes into the eye of the needle. Bring the thread up under the arm on the right, and then you're just going to hold it as you then release the needle threader and let the thread get pulled out of your fingers. That'll create a little loop that you can pull right on through. Let me show you that one more time. Bring the needle threader down, come underneath that arm, bring it all the way down, bring the thread up to the little hook and gently hold on to it, but then let the needle threader pull it out of your fingers. I see a little longer loop this time. It's because I let go of the thread better, and it gave me a little bit more thread to pull through the eye. Let's lift up the presser foot, and now to bring the bobbin thread up to the top, hold the thread with your left hand off to the side and touch your needle down button 2 times, down and up. That allowed the thread to come around the bobbin, and you'll see a loop of thread to pull right on out. And now that bobbin thread is on the top, ready to sew. Put both those threads down the middle of the foot, and let's put the door back in place. And now to test out the machine. For testing, what I want you to do is just take a piece of fabric, fold it in half. You always want to sew on 2 layers of fabric. We're lowering the foot onto the fabric, and let's just go ahead and do a quick stitch. It's set up for a straight stitch, so just touch number 1, And let's see how it sews. Ooh, these are quiet machines. Love it. The needle stops in the fabric, so touch the needle up button, bring the needle up, raise the presser foot up, and pull the fabric out to the side. And there is a thread cutter right here on the corner of the machine. Take your thread from front to back and cut both threads at once. That is a good looking seam. Let's go ahead and try a few more other stitches and just start to experiment with the stitches, buttons, and functions that you have on the Bernette 38. Number 5 is the zigzag stitch. Number 3 is a triple straight stitch, one of my favorites. We'll be going over more of these. And I'm also reminded this machine has a thread cutter, so let's touch the thread cutter this time. The machine cuts both threads, lift up the presser foot, and pull out the fabric, and you'll notice that the threads are pulled to the back side, cut, and are ready for when you pick your next stitch and you're ready to start again. We'll put links right here at the end to the complete playlist of all the videos that we have created for the Bernette 37 and the Bernette 38.